So awesome to have you today.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah.
It's nice to be here.
Wonderland!
Christ nailed to a cross.
There's something in the life of Abraham that points us towards Christ.
And so Jesus is fully God.
We're fully accepted.
Have you been finding Grow over the past couple of weeks, Paul?
I love it.
The Google Classroom.
Chicken feet is delicacy for so many people.
Yes.
Community around the table.
Yes. Putting more vegetables in our menu through the week.
And enjoy praising.
Good evening and welcome to SNL. My name is Jan Ben.
My name's RJ.
And we're so glad you joined us tonight. We are speaking about what, RJ?
We're talking about marriage tonight, and I'm super excited. Single guy, married guy, but I believe there's lots for us to learn tonight.
Definitely. I think they say you get old when you stop learning. So I mean, I'm looking forward to tonight. Definitely taking some notes. So if there's still a friend that you want to invite, go ahead and do that now. But yeah, I think in terms of we've wasted enough time, we can head on over to Kevin and Rebecca, where they're ready for us with our first guest.
Welcome. It is so good to be hosting a discussion with you, Rebecca, my wife.
You, my husband.
Yes, it's amazing. It's so cool. And JB, you're not wasting anybody's time, and we're going to be talking around marriage tonight.
Yeah. And
we have an amazing couple that have been married almost 40 years. They're in their 39th year. In January, their marriage turns 40.
Yeah.
And without further ado, let's introduce Alex and Karen Wan.
Woohoo!
Yeah, come on in. Good evening.
Hello, thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. It's such an honor for us to have you with us, and for the people that do watch this live and watch it afterwards. I just want to let you guys know that you can leave your questions because we're talking around marriage. If you're not married, don't be afraid to ask your question about marriage. And if you are married and you've got some questions about marriage, please pop them into the comment section. We can read them here, and we've got a very experienced couple that can help you. There's no pressure.
About this.
Yeah. So part of our tactic, if you're ever invited, I'll give you a quick down low. If you're ever invited to be on SNL, just know that you're in for a 5-minute stint. That's not 5 minutes, and you might land up eating a chili.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't done that. So
no, you haven't done that. No, not
I'm
yet.
glad I didn't do that.
So, were you guys Christian when you got married?
No.
No,
Not?
not at all.
That was an easy one. And
So when did you guys become a Christ follower?
It was in the late 20s.
Late 20s, through the death of my sister's baby, through a cot death.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was a tough time. It was a hard time. And we'd been going to church, but we sort of just went to church.
Okay.
There was no commitment. There was no real relationship or anything. And through the loss of Jade, that was when we started our journey of really starting to know that there was a God there, and there was someone bigger than our own.
Yeah. So we went to church to get married.
Amazing. So there they go. They go into church to get married, and they've been married for almost 40 years. And we're going to ask them how they've stayed married, what they found amazing about marriage, and what has not been so amazing.
I think it's actually almost like it's an incredible privilege that we get to chat with people that have gone before, have so much experience, and it's a privilege to have you guys here. So thank you for coming and opening up.
Yeah,
I know that you guys walked the journey with many people that are about to get married or even before they start dating and etc. So you guys do that in Urban Life, which has been amazing. How many couples have you guys?
Yeah, so
24.
Good.
24.
Wow, that's
couples.
amazing.
Okay, that's amazing.
And you might have some more. So if you're looking to get married, leave your email.
What's your favorite one?
Leave your email in the comment section. Don't answer that. Leave your email in the comment section and we'll get them to get back to you so they can help you get married. But
I don't like Donnie's
you
comment.
don't like Donnie's comment. Late 1920s.
That was when you got married, Donnie.
Yeah, Donnie. That's like the pot calling their kettle black there, hey? So let's get into the meat of it.
So how's it like to be married for so long?
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
That's amazing. Right?
In actual fact, the lockdown, I think, become closer than we've ever been.
Amazing.
So you travel a lot?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So this time, was it easy to be together?
Been easy.
24 hours together?
Yep.
Okay.
It's been good. It's been wonderful. We've had 6 months together that we never ever expected to have together.
Amazing.
And we've just been there for each other. We've learned a lot about each other and we've grown together. And it's been fun.
Do you still have things to learn from each other?
Yes.
40 years?
And we still have fun together and we still enjoy doing things together. And life just seems to get better. You get to the stage where you think, can it get any better than this? And believe me or not, it just seems to. And sometimes you feel envious and jealous because you have so much and you are so blessed and you are so happy. So
that's incredible.
It's great doing life together.
It is. So in an age where divorce is quite a thing, and I don't know what the percentages are of divorce.
55% actually.
Okay, there you go. 55%
Bring the maths.
of people who get married get divorced. 55%.
And that's both outside the church and
inside the church, which is scary.
That's a very.
It's not different within the church.
How have you guys kept it together for almost 40 years?
We've learned over the years to serve each other unconditionally. I have a saying when we do the pre-engagement is pursue the other person continually, because we seem to do it before we get married, but after we get married, okay, we've done the deed now, okay, let's relax. So it's important to continue doing date nights, pursuing that type of thing, yeah.
I think also learn not to be silly over silly things, learn to forgive each other, learn to identify the triggers that are leading towards a upset or an argument and get there before it happens, and just look at ways of being a good spouse, looking at ways of making life fun, looking at ways of just giving each other as much as you possibly can, and as Alex says, just serving each other and doing things for each other that makes life good and makes life easy and makes it enjoyable together.
But what is your default setting, or how do you, when he really ticks you off, how
He never does that, right?
He never does that. Okay, so you're the perfect gentleman there. No, so he does something or says something or it behaves a certain way that isn't that serving role, because we are human.
Yeah, we know we are.
We did ask them if they've ever fought, and they said they never do. No, I'm kidding. They said they do. They're not perfect. So how do you then be the perfect wife in that scenario?
Okay, I think one of the things I have learned, and I'm still learning and I'm still trying, is to think before I speak. Because it's so often in that moment that you can come back with something very quick, and once it's been spoken, it's been said. So I try to have that pause and think, and do I need to say this now? Do I need to say it at all? Does it need to be said later? Some things, sometimes it's easier not to say anything, and sometimes everybody has arguments, but 90% of your marriage can be great, 10% can be a little bit rough and tough. Rather concentrate on what's the good. Is it worth getting upset about? Is it worth the energy? Is it worth the time? And just try and be not the better person, but try and let go of things rather than letting them get to you.
And communication.
Yep.
So communicate with each other on a regular basis. And change the language, the way you communicate is, I've felt like when you said whatever.
Yeah.
So it's the way you communicate and the way you discuss things.
Okay.
What are the things that you advise people when they're about to get married? Like, what is your top advices?
Well, I know what Alex has just mentioned is pursue. I think it's vital. Pursue each other, continue to look at ways of serving and giving to each other, having fun together. Don't get lazy. Don't think it doesn't matter now because we're married. Have fun. Set an atmosphere in your home that's pleasant, that there's harmony, that there's love. Always remember your pleases and the thank yous. Even though it's your spouse, we do it with everybody else, but we so forget to do it with each other. Continuously say, I love you. You're special to me. Build each other up, affirm each other, encourage each other, and just enjoy doing life together, and make the most of what you have.
And I think one of the key things we do with couples before they get married is learn to talk about the many things that you wouldn't normally, such as finance, in-laws, the taboo of sex.
That's not a taboo.
Before you get married,
here.
it is.
Yes.
Not here,
well,
we're all good.
We're going to be talking about sex next week, so thanks for bringing that up. That was a great segue into that, but I won't stop you. You carry on.
Yeah, so, we try and set couples off on a journey before they actually married.
Okay.
And learn how to deal with things. And we think we're successful in that.
And don't take each other for granted. Just realise that you really are a gift to each other, and you have a lot between you that you can share together and enjoy together. And we enjoy each other's company, and I think that's a great thing.
That's so good.
So we have a few questions coming through on the chat line. We've got one from Donnie that is a bit of a zinger. What are the warning signs that a marriage is a bad idea?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, Donnie.
Oh, Donnie.
So we've actually did pre-marriage with couples who have broken up.
Oh.
Wow.
Because of the topics that we've discussed.
Okay.
They couldn't communicate or agree, and they've actually broken up during the process.
Okay.
So, and that's what we try and do during the 6 weeks of discussing with couples, is find red flags that we see when they communicate with us.
Yeah. So you point out those red flags?
Yes.
Okay. And then, you guys have made mention when you hit a rough patch. You said that you've learned over 40 years to see those warning signs. Okay, so you see a warning sign like, we're tired. When I'm tired, I act this way or say these things. How do we counteract that?
Or we tell each other that we're seeing signs, and then we talk about what those signs are, and we overcome that before it becomes something stupid.
Yeah.
Which most arguments are.
Is over stupid things.
Yes.
And we try and identify those signs first.
Okay. You got anything?
What did you what are things that you did not expect in your almost 40 years of marriage?
Did not expect.
Good and bad. What are things that it was like plot twist?
Well, some of the plot lists for me was I was away for 1 year.
Yeah.
So we were apart. I was in the UK for a whole year, and then came back. So that being apart was quite tough. And we learned early in our marriage to communicate, not verbally, but writing letters. People don't do that anymore.
No.
When was that?
So we still write to each other. So we still
That's
do
so
little
cute.
notes and whatever.
There's been just a big around the whole studio. For those of you who can't hear it at home, there was just
I would tell you the most nicest and beautiful one. If Alex was going away on a trip, I'd pop a letter in his suitcase. Alex would leave on my iPad at the side of the bed for when I start reading at night. And it was about a year ago, and Alex was going to Portugal for 7 days. And when I got home from work that night, I'd got 7 letters waiting for me. One for every single night that he was away, with a letter and a Bible verse and an encouragement.
Amazing.
And I just sat there on the bed and thought, wow, I am so blessed because I've got such a wonderful husband who's taken the time to put that together for me while he's not here. So
You got it.
amazing. Well done. You've done well. So we have a question that's come through, and it's about family dynamics. And how do you deal with the in-laws and the family dynamics of that, and bringing that into the marriage and pleasing.
Oh, we have a whole
Pre-marriage prep section on
so
in-laws because
there's
it's
a whole
a biggie.
prep part on
Amazing.
in-laws.
Okay, so for those that haven't and are not going to go back to premarital, like Rebecca and myself, give us a crash course in how to deal with the in-laws.
Kevin, you actually did well. 'Cause
No, I did.
You
I'm
don't
not
speak the
asking-
language, so that's the
I'm
best
not
way of
asking
dealing with
for
them.
me, but
He's asking for you, Rebecca.
hashtag asking for a friend.
So first of all, you
Yeah,
need
that's
to
true.
be in line with each other as a couple. So if one is saying yes and one is saying no, you're not going to win the fight.
Yes.
Secondly, you must learn when to say no. It's very important. Thirdly is you can hear their comments and suggestions, but you don't have to heed them.
Yes.
You know, you're in charge of your marriage,
Absolutely.
so you need to take it forward.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Don't go running back to your parents either when there's little upsets or when there's hiccups or anything like that. You know, learn that what's between you is between you, and but still respect your parents,
Yes.
love your parents. But you know, as Alex says, if they give you advice, say thank you very much, heed the advice, but you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
It's
good.
it's your life, and
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom with those that haven't gone as far as you. We do hope that we can go to 40 plus years, even more, as long as we can go. And I hope that this helps others out there. And if guys and girls, you need help or would like help, please reach out to us, and we can get help to you.
Yeah.
And via Alex and Karen, we have a beautiful marriage courses and couples that are willing to help and take you on further. But
now we get to talk to Jivani and Judd.
Yes, you got that the right way around, yeah.
I
It's not
did.
Judd, and it's not Judd and Jivani. It's
The Fitzjohns.
the Fitzjohns.
That'll be easier,
Yeah,
right?
straight up.
And they only been married for two months and 9 days.
days.
So they got married in lockdown.
Totally legal.
Completely legal. So
Yeah.
all of the things were
All-
followed
They even stood 1.5 meters apart.
They say, right?
They say.
But come on. Would you guys come and join us?
Yeah, come on out.
Dance, dance. I love that you guys got a haircut together just to be
it's
here
so cute.
tonight. It was.
It's okay. It's all right.
We also try to match.
Fun. It's cute.
We also try to match our clothes, but I don't know.
It's
If,
cute.
you know.
Very cute.
You got a big cute from the top. Anyway, so because it's still super fresh in your memories, what's the one surprising thing that you didn't see coming in marriage?
Keep
From
it PG.
opposing- yeah. Well, no, they expected that. We'll talk about it
Today's
next
not
week.
about sex, so keep it PG.
I mean, that was pretty much the most surprising thing about being married.
I don't know which way you should take that. That she was surprised.
I think just learning to live with someone else. I think because we never really, you know.
It reminds me of that scene from Friends.
Yeah. I'm going to have to live with the boy.
Yeah. That was pretty much for me the most like, okay, you actually have to consider someone else and their space and the way they do things, and you know, not just like your way is the only way. It's actually like, okay, wait, how does the other person live, and how does he function in a space like the same as yours?
You have to take both sets of pillows off the bed.
Yeah.
If you don't,
Yes.
you did not consider the other person.
Okay.
Okay, let's just give some background, right? So probably like the first night or the second night, we have these scatter cushions, but you have to take, so he just gets into bed and he takes off his side of the scatter cushions and not mine. And I was like, no, I have to do this. Why didn't you just
I think we're going to have to get Alex and Karen back in here just for some like.
As a
was
female,
me.
I don't understand scatter cushions.
I don't get them
There's
either.
two.
No, I don't understand them. You
They're
don't
like
need them.
continental pillows.
No, you don't need
Accept
them. You're just gathering things. But anyway.
Judd's just accepted them. He's just like...
So yeah, that was a great shock. That was like the first shock we had. It was probably like, oh, okay, we need to do these things for each other.
So you guys did your premarital with Gareth and Amy, which is one of the pastors of Urban Life Church.
Yeah.
And how was it helpful for you?
So we actually did pre-engagement. So before we even decided to get engaged, we did it because we didn't want to commit sort of to each other without knowing if we should even get married, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So before we even got engaged, we passed.
We did. Well, I mean...
I mean,
the jury's out
now.
We still got a lot to learn. But the biggest thing for me was like, oh wow, we actually believe the same things. There's a couple of things that we probably need to just work on in terms of it takes years of experience. But for me, the biggest thing was like we have the same core beliefs, and that was the most important thing. It was like, okay, we believe the same thing. We can go into this knowing that whatever fight comes, we know ultimately what we believe in and how we can solve it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like Alex and Karen said, like the fights are about the stupid things, you know, and so we'll like
surface level.
We'll be like good, and then the last question we're addressing, it just like, and it's just, and then we realized, an hour down the line, I think we can address this when we get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, it was really helpful. I would actually encourage people to do it before they even get engaged. Like, I think it's something that will help prevent a lot of heartbreak. If, for example, you guys don't decide to get married at some point. You don't have a ring, you don't have all those things. I think it's helpful. I just really think it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Okay. Do we have more questions for them, or is that it?
No, we have
Nobody's asking questions.
Guys, ask.
So I mean, Ruan's asking a really great one here. How does one learn to sleep on only one side of the bed?
Oh my gosh.
Asking for a friend.
We're gonna ask Alex and Karen after the show.
So I don't know why. I grew up sleeping on one side of the bed. I never really stretched, but
advice from the Peanut Gallery is buy a king size bed.
Yeah.
That's really great advice.
Yeah, get a bigger bed. Yeah, then she'll stop sleeping on your side.
A double is not big enough.
And then another Friends episode where I think Ross learns how to do the hug and roll. Yeah. Also a great technique, used it many a time.
Is it? I haven't watched Friends.
I don't know how you guys can.
I'm trying,
but it's okay. I do have a question for you guys. How you guys dated for very, very short time?
Yeah.
So how long was it?
I think it was like 5 months.
To say how short it was, we were like, oh, it was our anniversary, and it's like actually not really, because we got married before we hit it. So
first year.
So it was pretty quick because we started dating in July, and I proposed on the 13th of December. So
it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you're also younger than Jiv. I'm not going to say the ages, but I will say that you're younger than Jiv.
I mean, you can if you want to.
No, because not because of you, but because of Jiv.
Sure.
Girls.
It's a great question.
Yeah. So you're quite young in comparison to Jiv.
Mm-hmm. It feels like it's going to come out at some point.
Is there a question in here?
Yeah, there is a question.
Just checking.
And like for your age, like you're a young guy to get married and even to pursue a girl that is older than you. How did you? I'm pretty sure you probably had some pressure. Like, are you really going to do this?
Yeah.
How did you manage what God told you or what God has for you and what the world tells you?
I mean, man, I have so many like great mentors in my life. I feel that's been such a blessing to me. I've just tried to surround myself with people who know a lot more than I do, and been through the things. And they've been wise enough to advise me, but let me make my own decisions. And honestly, it was super easy, because it's that cliche thing. I always wondered, like, but what does it feel like to know, And it's like, when you know. It doesn't mean it stops being scary or it stops being big and all of that stuff. It's just like, this is the person. It's like, when is it going to happen? And I was like, let's rather figure this out together rather than say, okay, we need to be at this point now before we can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So mentors definitely, and just trusting what you feel.
We've got a question from the comment section is, how do you learn how to compromise?
Funny thing is from your sister.
Sure, that's a tough one for me. Like, especially me, because I have perfectionist tendencies. Like, I tend to go to a type 1 on the Enneagram, because, you know, everyone knows about the Enneagram that's in this audience.
Bless number one.
It's really tough for me because I want the house to be a certain level of cleanliness.
Amen.
And the dishes have to be clean.
I hear you and I feel you, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
And like, he's been great in terms of like accepting this is how I feel peace. So I mean, he's still getting there, but like he like comes to an acceptance where it's like this is how she like enjoys being at home, and it's so that it's clean. For Judd, I think how I try to compromise is like he loves, like, he just absorbs so much information, like a lot of it, and it gets overwhelming for me sometimes. I'm like, how do you do this? And like, he'll be on YouTube and he'll be doing all these things, and I have to actually be like, okay, this is his me time. Like, this is how he absorbs things and learns, and this is just, you know, part of his personality. And I need to be like, okay, it's fine, the TV's on, I need to just, you know, find a different area of the house. So I mean, those are two small examples, but it's tough for me. I think for my type 1 tendencies, it's really hard.
But I think those moments of where you're able to compromise are super clear. Like, you know when you're there. You know, you have a very strong desire, and you can see the other person has a very strong desire. And sometimes it's kind of like I don't actually know which way I'm going to fall. But, you know, sometimes it's just taking a step and saying, I'm probably going to be happier once, you know, she's happier.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that pans out.
An example is like shopping, right? When we go shopping, we fight because we're like, but I think we should cook this way. No, but I think we should cook that way, and we should use these beans instead of those beans. And it's like, that for me is the biggest lesson in terms of I actually just need to let go, because maybe he actually does have a better way of doing things. So that's been really hard.
Interesting though, because when we first got married, we went shopping. And because everything was different from Brazil and South Africa, it was really like weird, because things in South Africa, like you buy butter. In Brazil, I grew up with margarine. I know it's gross.
But you grew up with margarine.
But I grew up with margarine. I grew up with long life milk. I hate it, but it was long life milk. In learning how to like change those things, it's just because like you grew up like that. And now you have to kind of like, but now we have to find our culture in what is our household's going to look like.
Yeah.
So
we got another super interesting question. So you guys, your vast experience of relationships is how short is too short to be dating before you get married? And then the flip side is, how long is too long to be dating still?
Oh, that's a good one. I think for me, I wanted to be in a relationship for at least like maybe a year and a half, 2 years. That was my goal, to be like, okay, then I feel like I'll know this person. I don't feel like I'll have to learn a bit more. I think I'll know everything. But with Judd, there was like you're never going to know anything. You're never going to know everything. But there was also a piece that, wow, like I know that this person, you can't explain it. It really is. It's a God thing. Like when you meet your person, like time sort of becomes irrelevant. You obviously have to be wise in being like, let's not do 2 weeks. And decide, I mean, after 2 weeks, he already wanted to say like, I love you. So, like,
I mean, I said it.
He basically said it. So I had to.
When I met Rebecca, it was like, I love you. I didn't say it, also because she wouldn't understand.
So yeah, he was like there already. I had to catch up because of the preconceived ideas of what I thought a relationship should look like or how long it should go on for. So for me, it was actually, I had to just catch up a little bit. But when I did catch up, it was because I was at peace, not because I was trying to force myself to be somewhere that I wasn't. I think we were super authentic from day one. It was like, is this naturally flowing? Yes, it is naturally flowing. We're not trying to force it to be something that it's not. It just it's just falling into place.
It was very cute.
I
will admit.
I think it's actually, there's no time, right? But it's like everyone needs to be on the same page, first of all. Be absolutely transparent and integrous, because as awkward as it is, you know, shaky hands and all when you're saying what you're saying, it's worth it. And then second, you must be wise in knowing that you considered a lot of what goes into being married.
That's good.
That's good.
So young, so wise.
And how long is too long to all three of you?
What?
How long is too long for dating?
It depends when you started dating. I mean, if you started dating when you were like 14, 15, I would probably wait until I'm at least out of school before I got married. I mean, that's probably wise.
My dream age to get married was 18.
I feel you.
It didn't happen. It was 1 year later.
Disappointed.
It was 2 years later.
Yeah. I think like it depends when you start dating. I think you should probably. I mean, if you're studying, I wouldn't say get married while you're studying. I experienced couples that did, and I think it was a little bit chaotic for them.
You're still studying, though.
Yeah, technically we're both studying.
But they are both working.
We're both working, and we have a set schedule, and we're both in the same place in life, if that makes sense. So it's not like, he's still at school and I'm working and I'm earning the big. I mean, it was like that at some point.
she's still.
There was a bus. It went past Judd's underneath it.
She
Judd is totally
more than me, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's not the point. The point is,
she puts the bread on the table.
Yeah.
I get to watch something cool on TV while she's working.
Amazing.
And it's gluten-free bread, right? Because you're gluten-free.
Yes,
right.
she bakes. Yeah. She bakes. She buys the rice flour and.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So.
Well.
It's not about age. It's really about. Are you guys in the same place to get married? Are you there? Are you sort of, not one's like on a total different continent, in terms of just where you are psychologically and spiritually. I mean, there's many things.
Thank you so much for your vast wisdom on this topic, and we hope that you too make it to many, many years like our previous guest. Yeah. And we'll be cheering you guys on as you're cheering us on. As you're cheering others on, and don't forget to be mentors to other people. But right now, we want to cross over. I think we're crossing over to me again.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's going to be weird. Just hang in there. You'll get it. But we want to see what the Bible says about marriage, and so tonight we're going to be talking around contract versus covenant, because when you get married, you make a covenant between two people for the rest of your life. So let's see what the Bible says about contract versus covenant. Whoop, whoop. It's me again. And I just took a short walk across to another studio. Anyway, what we're talking about tonight is contract versus covenant, and what that means to us as Christ followers under the sight and the blessing of God. Now, contract is something that you uphold. It's a legal form. So is a covenant. It's also a legal contract. But a contract can be broken, and if the other party then breaks that covenant, you are free to then get out of the contract. Man, these words are so similar. Anyway, if one breaks or doesn't uphold their end or their little list of things that they have to uphold in a contract, you can legally then exit the contract. In a covenant, it's a pledge. It's a promise to each other that you fulfill throughout the rest of your life. So it's something, a covenant is something that we build into continually. It's something that we work toward and in, even if the other party does not hold up their end of the bargain. Now, most people enter into contracts in marriage, and I've seen this many a time, and it's a tragedy. If you enter into a marriage and you view it as a contract, I'm just signing a piece of paper that says that we're married. It's very easy then to get out of it, because the T's and C's mean if the other party doesn't hold up their end of the bargain, I can then get out scot-free. So you can see that a contract you can get out of very easy. Yeah, you might have a price to pay in terms of getting out of that contract, like a lease agreement. If you want to exit out early, you might have to pay some stuff or lose your deposit or something like that. But then we see in the Bible, and I want to take us to Psalm 136, and And I think most people know this, and I'll start from verse 1, and I'll just show you who God is. And it says, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. And then it says, his faithful love endures forever. Give thanks to the God of gods. His faithful love endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord of lords. His faithfulness endures forever. He alone does great wonders. And it keeps on going like this. His faithful love endures forever. And we see that God, when he makes a covenant between you and I, or between him and you, his faithful love endures forever. Now, that's only one part of who God is. And he upholds, he builds into that. Even when we stuff up, or I may stuff up, God doesn't go, you have broken our covenant. You know, you have to do X, Y, and Z before I let you back in. But he's there. He's at my side. He's for me every single time. When I mess up, he's there. He doesn't wander away. He doesn't walk away. He doesn't leave. He builds into me. He continually is looking for opportunities to build into your life. He's continually looking for ways of upholding his end of the covenant to you. And how do we get into that covenant? Well, we get into that covenant through salvation. We become his through salvation, through acknowledging that Jesus gave his life, went down to hell, rescued or killed death, and brought back the keys, enabling us to walk into relationship with God, enabling us to have the Spirit of God live within us. That is his covenant. How does covenant pertain to marriage? Well, we see that in the Bible. It's a covenant between a man and a woman that makes that a marriage. And I love it when I stuff up in my marriage, all I want is somebody who represents God and is there, not going, you messed up, I'm out of here, but somebody who continually builds it into me and says, hey man, you really messed up that time, you hurt me and all the rest, but I'm here to build you up and to be part of your life for the rest of your life. And that's what marriage is in a covenant. It's not just a contract. It's not just, I signed this piece of paper and I can get out of it. A covenant is for life. Now, I don't want to heap shame and guilt on you if you're watching this and you're divorced. God loves you all the same. He is for you. His covenant is still in place with you. He still wants to build into you. He wants to lead you in the direction that he's got for you. And that's covenant, is he leads us by the hand. We get deeper and deeper into a relationship with him, just like a marriage. And we are able to learn about our partner all the more. 9 years and I'm still learning new things about Rebecca's childhood. I'm still learning how she does things. And it will be until we've been married for 60 years and one of us goes to be with Jesus. But God does that with you. Is He takes us by the hand and says, my covenant to you is that I'll be faithful always. And we can spend eternity in relationship and you can just get to know me better and I'll lead you in the direction that I have for you. So if you don't know about this beautiful relationship that I've been talking about, not the marriage one, you might be married and you might be going, this God character sounds amazing. Yes, he is. And there is a way that you can get to know him. And all that is just taking a moment, acknowledging that God is God and that Jesus died to cover your sins, to give you eternal life and open the doors to a relationship with the God who created this world. And it can be through a simple prayer and then taking steps to follow Christ. Picking up your Bible and start in the Gospels. The Gospel of John is a great place to start and just read through that and learn about Jesus and follow his ways and imitate him. Be a follower, an imitator, a disciple of Jesus. And you'll see that your life may not get better immediately, but you'll be at peace because you're in an eternal covenant that God will never break. He will always uphold and always build into you. And right now, we get to cross over to our favorite game show host. That was an abrupt ending. But anyway, we get to cross over to our amazing game show host, Magic Mike McGee. And
question number 1. Whose shoe is it anyway? First question will be, who makes the better breakfast? Alrighty then. And with that, we are going to carry on to question number 2. Who has the crazier family? And with that, we are keeping score for the end, of course, but we will let you know at the end. We are moving to question 3. Who hogs most of the bed? And with question number 4, who is most likely to forget to replace the toilet paper roll? Raising both shoes does forfeit it. Just saying. And then with question number 5. Who is most likely to get lost? Who is most likely to get lost? And with question number 6. Who said, "I love you" first? Without looking at the screen, please. And with question number 7, who plans the best date nights? Ooh! Congratulations. Who spends the most time staring at their phone? And with that, the next question. Who's more likely to talk their way out of a speeding ticket? And the next question we have. Who has better vision?
Oh, we're old. We're old.
Who is better at keeping secrets?
Wow. Okay.
Alrighty. Who would last longer on a deserted island? And for the last question, who is the cheapest? Who is the cheapest? Who looks for the cheapest things to buy? Alrighty, and with a total count, the winners are Giovanni and Judd. And with that, they will then be winning a dip and brew for a week. And we are now going to be handing over back to RJ and Young Ben.
So good. I love the competition at the end, but honestly, just taking away from tonight, what really stood out to me was just, what Alex mentioned in terms of keep on pursuing the other person. I think it's so easy to fall in a rut and kind of like be comfortable with one another that you stop learning something about the other person. And even Kevin and Rebecca mentioned it earlier that they still learn something about one another's childhood. So I really loved it.
Yeah, man, for me as well, it was just so encouraging to see Judd and Jiv, young couple, but so wise. You know, just I think especially in today's time, young people don't have to think that they've got to be over 30 before they can get married. You know? So seeing them young and wise was really good to see.
Definitely. Yeah, so I mean, coming up this next week, guys, such exciting things. So remember, Thursday is the podcast coming out at 12 o'clock. I listened to last week's podcast with Stephen Ferreira. It was amazing, talking about emotions. And I mean, I know I don't generally deal with my emotions very well, so I really found it very helpful.
Yeah, no, I've got to agree. The podcast is just well done, Urban Life. You guys are doing incredible stuff at pioneering and going ahead of everyone else. So, really exciting stuff.
100%.
And then if you guys don't know already, Centurion is turning 10 this September, which is incredible.
10
Can't
years.
believe we've been lucky enough, I think, to be part of the story for about 4 years. But super exciting. And I think on Sunday, I think it's between 11 and 1.
Yes.
They're going to be having cake in a drive-through celebrating the 10th birthday. So if you can make it through there, please pull through. It'll be awesome to have you.
So good. Guys, and then I know you've waited for this all night. You want to know what we're talking about next week. So guys, we're talking about sex. Yes, I said it, and it's on television.
We're talking about sex. We're all super excited. I know Jan Ben is too.
I mean, one day when I'm married, I am excited.
No, we're all excited. But we can't wait to see you guys next week, Sunday. Other than that, have a great Sunday and a great week.
Bye, guys.